Idaho.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to urge my colleagues to vote in favor of the confirmation of Mr. Jamieson Greer, who is nominated to serve as the United States Trade Representative. I think I ought to just probably set a couple of facts straight about President Trump's utilization of the various policies that he has in the past term when he was president the first time. It was said that wages went up, prices went up, wages went down, prices went up, and that people were going to face terrible, dire consequences if he's able to follow his trade policies again in this term. The reality is that under President Trump, wages went up, jobs went up, unemployment went down, benefits went up, the economy grew dramatically, and we had the strongest economy in our lifetimes because of the policies President Trump pursued. So I don't think people should let these politics of fear, saying that everything that President Trump does is going to hurt people, convince them otherwise. The office of the U.S. Trade Representative, created in 1962 by Congress, develops and coordinates U.S. international trade policy and oversees trade negotiations with other countries. The U.S. Trade Representative, the role for which Mr. Greer is nominated, historically and statutorily serves as the United States principal advisor, negotiator, and spokesperson on trade issues. Mr. Greer is well suited for these roles, as demonstrated during his previous tenure as USTR Chief of Staff, when he worked with both sides of the aisle in negotiating and securing congressional approval of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, which passed the Senate 89-10. And I would note that the previous U.S. Trade Representative, who is now being replaced by Mr. Greer, and President Biden himself for the past 4 years, refused to actually negotiate any bilateral trade agreements with other nations. None. Throughout the nomination process, Mr. Greer demonstrated his strong commitment to work with the Congress in a bipartisan fashion to advance the interests of our farmers, ranchers, fishers, and workers. In particular, I applaud Mr. Greer's commitment to change that pattern of the last 4 years and to negotiate and work on opening markets for our farmers and manufacturers around the globe, negotiating new bilateral trade agreements and enforcing existing ones, something we have not seen for 4 years. I fully welcome a return to the USTR that performs its statutory obligation of creating new opportunities for Americans. And I look forward to the USTR's forthcoming reviews of foreign trade barriers that stymie U.S. investments and imports. I urge my colleagues to join me now to advance Mr. Greer's nomination. It is critical that the United States have a USTR at the helm of these investigations and to support the administration's return to an active and robust trade agenda that prioritizes America's farmers, ranchers, workers, and businesses.